huge move and get Will Fuller, the Texans' big play receiver, on an expiring contract? Would they come in with, say, a second-round pick, which I'm told the Texans were asking for, and give Aaron Rodgers some help? In the end, I'm told the two sides simply could not agree on compensation. I thought maybe at one point a third-rounder would do it. It was simply not to be, so now Will Fuller stays with Deshaun Watson, stays in Houston, and Green Bay sticks with their current receiving core. They did have a couple trades, though. First of all, DeAndre Washington, the Chiefs running back, he gets traded to the Miami Dolphins to give them some depth in the backfield. That is one trade. Then the Dolphins made another trade. Isaiah Ford, the versatile receiver, can play all spots. He goes to the New England Patriots to give them some depth in their receiving core just for the price of a late-round pick.
All right, Ian, let's turn to some COVID-related news. What's the latest in Green Bay?
Well, the Green Bay Packers had two players identified as high-risk close contacts with A.J. Dillon, the running back, who did test positive for COVID-19. One of those players is Jamal Williams, another running back. And considering that the status of Aaron Jones is very much up in the air, in fact, I'm told the Packers are pessimistic that he will play Thursday, it may be one running back on their roster and then another running back in the practice squad. That's all the Packers could have in their backfield for Thursday's game against the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens also had their COVID-19 issues following the Marlon Humphrey positive test. 7 members of the Ravens team were considered high-risk close contacts, including Matt Judon, including Patrick Queen. But because of when they last had contact with them, they still could be cleared for Sunday's game, although they won't be able to practice. Meanwhile, for the Denver Broncos, another COVID issue, this time to their 2 executives. General Manager John Elway tested positive for COVID-19, as did CEO Joe Ellis. Both are out of the building, experiencing minor symptoms, but doing well.
Ian Rapoport keeping track of every detail. Thank you. And to recap for those of you at home, here are some other notable trades right up until the deadline, what's happened thus far. Quan Alexander from the 49ers to the Saints. Desmond King from the Chargers to the Titans. Yannick Ngakoue, Vikings now to the Ravens. Everson Griffin from Cowboys to Lions. And Carlos Dunlap went from the Bengals to the Seahawks. All right, everyone, it's Election Day, and there's still time to vote. With the help of the league's NFL Votes Initiative, many NFL stadiums across the country have turned into polling sites, like Arrowhead Stadium, Lambeau Field as well, Lucas Oil Stadium, and SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles. Yep, the home of the Rams and the Chargers is open for voting until 8 p.m. Pacific tonight. Let's head out to SoFi now, where we find our Omar Ruiz. He is live. Omar, walk us through what's been happening at SoFi Stadium today.
Hey, MJ, here at the SoFi Stadium Voting Center, people have been steadily streaming in all day long. For the first time today, we are starting to see lines develop as several more hundred people are expected to vote when the after-work crowd continues. Already, there's been more than 700 people cast their ballots here today. In total, since this voting center opened on Friday, more than 3,000 people have voted here. There's been a positive energy, a lot of enthusiasm, both by people who have been voting for years and people who have been casting ballots for the very first time. Of course, this is the culmination of months in the making, a push by both the Rams and the Chargers to urge their fans to get out and vote. That message has been heard. We've seen so many people here today coming specifically to this voting center to get their first look at SoFi Stadium, either before or after placing their ballots in the voting machines. They went over to the stadium to take pictures and really get that first look. Of course, as we know, Rams and Chargers games this season, fans have not been allowed in. Several people telling me the thrill of seeing that stadium for the first time, almost, MJ, as cool as voting itself. Key word there being almost.
I'm glad you added that asterisk to that. Okay, Omar Ruiz, thanks. Coming to Playbook on Packers 49ers. And for that, let's bring in Coach Brian Billick and Maurice Jones-Drew. Now, before we open the playbook, though, let's open up the injury report on this matchup, because it is intense. I mean, the bulk of the Packers running backs group is out with either an injury or on the COVID-19 list, while the 49ers are without their starting QB, Jimmy Garoppolo, their top rusher in Raheem Mostert, and George Kittle at tight end is injured. So, MJD, the Packers are likely going with running backs Tyler Ervin and Dexter Williams, who, by the way, have combined for 15 carries this season.
Yeah, MJ, it's definitely going to be tough. And because of the COVID-19 situation, it's hard to bring a guy in. Otherwise, I probably would have went up to Green Bay and tried to get a couple carries myself on Thursday night. I mean, why wouldn't I get a practice in on Wednesday and get out there? But as we see here, Tyler Ervin has played in games. And so you expect him to come in and be the lead guy. He was a gadget guy for him, obviously Dexter Williams as well. But your coach is going to talk about this, and the Packers, they're going to lean on their passing game. They're going to lean on 12, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. And that's what you're supposed to do in these type of situations. Certain things arise where you can't really do with what you have, so you have to go with what's going on. And it seems like Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams are the guys to go with.
All right, Coach Billick, let's bring you in here because we're going to see a lot more of the Rodgers-Adams connection. What have you liked about this duo so far?
Well, it's exquisite. It may be the best passer-receiver combination in the NFL right now. When you look at it, I mean, particularly against the Vikings, Davante Adams has 21 receptions, over 200 yards, and 5 touchdowns just against the Vikings. But when you look at the film, I want you to watch the timing of this. Adams at the top, he can see it's one-on-one because the safety's down here at the bottom hash. Now, I want you to watch Rodgers. He's going from the left hash all the way to the right sideline. This is a long throw. He has started his throw before Davante Adams has even thought about coming out of the break. But the ball is placed perfectly. Why? Because he knows Adams is going to be where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. Now he's the inside of a 3-by-1, and now you can see where this relationship happens. Rodgers gets flushed out of the pocket. He needs some place to go. Davante Adams gets to the sideline exactly when Rodgers needs him at exactly the right spot. And then this is beauty. Again, it's one-on-one on the top. He knows he's going to get the coverage that he wants. Deep throws are a function of touch and timing. They need to be 40 yards down the field, 5 yards from the hash, preferably 2. This is exactly where this is hit. He throws it 40 and 5. It fades to within 2. He catches it over the outside shoulder with great coverage. That is absolutely undefensible. Davante Adams is on pace for just under 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 16 touchdowns. And if I'm going to beat them, if I'm going to be the San Francisco 49ers, that's the guy you got to stop. If Tanyan, Valdez-Scantling, Lazard, if they can beat us, so be it. You got to double, triple, do whatever you have to take Davante Adams out of the game, because this is a guy, particularly with a lack of a running game, this is the guy that Aaron Rodgers is going to look to, and this is how they're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Coach, no doubt. And it was that chemistry, that trust that MJD was just talking about in the previous block of the show. Coach Billick, MJD, thanks. And listen, there is no shortage of drama for this matchup. Thursday Night Football, Packers and 49ers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. All right, let's take you out to FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. That's what you're looking at right now, where the Washington football team is doing its part on Election Day. Team President Jason Wright was on Good Morning Football earlier today to talk about the NFL Votes initiative.
It's really, really satisfying. You know, this is part of our owners' values. Dan and Tanya believe in this. I personally believe in this. Our employees believe in this. And it's a way for us to express our values tangibly. You know, we as a club, we have unique assets, our players, their reach, their voice, but we also have a stadium. And so it's incumbent upon us to use our assets to meet a community need at a critical time. I'm really proud.
Let's send that out to James Palmer at FedEx Field.
When the polls close at 8 o'clock Eastern, the expectation is 3,000 people came to FedEx Field to cast a vote in the presidential election. Now, I spoke to President Jason Wright early this morning, and he said this is more than just letting people come here and vote and giving them an opportunity. It's a passion project of his that's been here since he came to the organization in August. And he said it was no small feat to turn their club level into a polling place. Well, I spoke to also a number of people that came through here and said it could not have been easier. They will come back here in 4 years if it's available to vote once again. And also the time that the people in this organization have put forth. They have volunteered throughout the entire day. They have provided free